guys, and welcome back to Belle's Books. So today I'm going to be talking about American Gods by Neil Gaiman, and I finished this book last week and I wasn't sure how I felt about it. And I didn't know if I had liked it or if I hadn't liked it, if I'd enjoyed it, if I'd loved it. I really wasn't sure. So I didn't think I was going to review it. And of course it's quite old. I think it's from like 2011 or something. And I don't usually review quite old books. I like to kind of review more newer books. But I decided that I would review the book because I think it's worth reviewing and I think it's worth advertising. More people should read it. So I read American Gods after I read Good Omens by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman, which was fantastic, by the way, absolutely hilarious and just such a quirky, unusual read. So to put it concisely, American Gods is about gods. That would be plural, gods from different pantheons across the world who have migrated from their home countries, for lack of a better word, to the United States at various points in history. So it's a fantasy novel, but it's also a mythological novel. And these old gods who have migrated are set against the new American gods who are manifestations of modern concepts like media, the internet, transport, and other similar modern ideas. So the book's protagonist is a man named Shadow. He at first seems like a regular, if a little bit sullen and quiet kind of guy. He's an ex-convict, he's looking forward to a peaceful life after prison, but he kind of loses this and it gets turned on his head and the very opposite happens. His importance as a character grows and grows throughout the novel until these kind of culminating events, trying not to give anything away. The novel is honestly so strange. The plot is fantastic, it's incredibly creative, which is something about Gaiman as a writer that I'm really coming to appreciate as I read more and more of his works. I've obviously read Good Omens, I've read Neverwhere, and now I've read American Gods, so I still have a long way to go in exploring him as an author, but his creativity is something that I really love about him. His novels are creative and they're very unusual in content. They haven't been done before. He kind of combines old things, which are like religious or mythological concepts which have been explored and discovered and created in the past, with modernity, and he writes these books which fit perfectly within our world today and are very readable and digestible and somehow still engage with past literature in a way that makes him a truly literary author. It was so much fun for me to read a novel with all of these kinds of different mythological characters, from Odin to Egyptian gods in the modern world. When I was younger, I loved the Rick Riordan books, and I still really enjoy mythological literature, at least the good stuff. And this novel fit really well within my own literary interests. I really liked that it was written on top of all of these themes and ideas, which I appreciated so much. There wasn't very much dialogue. The characters say and do a lot, but the book's written mostly in prose rather than in speech. And as a result, the book feels quite quiet and the characters feel very contemplative and thoughtful. As a reader, you also feel like nothing in the novel is wasted space, but all of the words and the sentences and everything is used fully and properly. There's nothing extraneous that you're reading. Everything kind of has a purpose to the story, and you're not wasting any time, if that makes sense. This does have the effect of you really needing to pay attention, however. So a few notes about this book which are more negative. It was very sweary, it was very sexual, and some things made me cringe, the way it talked about certain things, and there were some really disgusting depictions of certain acts. But I wouldn't suggest for a second that this affects the quality of the novel. Books shouldn't have to avoid nasty, horrible things, but it was a bit twisted in some places, basically. So as a reader, you could skip those bits, or you could read them like I did and just kind of be aware of how much you hated them. Or you could kind of skip the novel altogether, which I would recommend if you think you might be sensitive to kind of very disgusting visual scenes like that, or you're underage, then you should definitely wait until you're older to read this book. So this book was a solid 5 stars for me, but I do think it has a specific audience for people who like mythological literature, who don't mind stuff being a bit rough or coarse around the edges, and don't feel like that affects the quality or the excellence of a novel. So I definitely recommend this book to a more mature reader and one who really loves fantasy novels. So I just have a couple of reading recommendations to tap this novel, and if you enjoyed American Gods, I really think you might like Neverwhere, also by Neil Gaiman, which is just the quirkiest, strangest book I've read in a long time. It's on my list of books to reread this month. And then Kafka on the Shore by Haruki Murakami, which I think has a similar writing style and is just as weird, and also kind of brings up the idea of kind of gods and spirits and things being present from the past in our modern world. And then finally, Mythos by Stephen Fry. If you read American Gods for the mythological literature, then I think you will really enjoy Mythos. The way it's written is so funny, and it's just an excellent book, and it's all about the Greek pantheon. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more content, and leave me a comment down below telling me what you thought of American Gods, and follow me on Instagram because I have so many more book-related thoughts on there. Bye!